Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, now streaming only on Netflix.
Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
Barenaked, Barenaked, ABCs. Welcome to the Barenaked ABCs, where we discuss every Barenaked Ladies song from 7 to Y. And this week we are going to go. Oh, I don't even know what I'm going to say on this one.
This is how we know this is a live show and not scripted.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are visiting royalty. We are visiting the king of Bedside Manor. If you guys don't know where Bedside Manor is, it's right down Francesca Lane, and then you take a right onto Weymouth. And it's right down there. So, ladies and gentlemen, join us on this journey to visit.
Is that right next to the strip club?
It is, yes.
And that would totally fit with this song, too. Steffan, maybe you should do our intros from now on. You do a much better job at that.
Right off the cuff and everything.
Oh, no problem. I can do that. Yeah, sure. Bring it on,
great.
guys.
Now we have Steffan that has a job. All right, great.
So all the listeners, they have to vote in to see whether or not I should join the podcast intro crew. Come on, guys.
We do have to keep in mind, though, Tracy, this is for Steffan's second job. His first job is keeping the train on the track.
Yes, that's true. That's the hard enough job as it is.
Well, yes, absolutely.
And reminding us where people can get a hold of us. That's also one of his jobs, and that's very important too, because someone went a whole year without telling people how to get a hold of us. So
I have no idea. So I ask. It's not for the listeners out there. It's for me.
So yeah, tonight we're going to discuss King of Bedside Manor. If you haven't heard this song before, here is a quick snippet.
No, he's not the kind of man who likes to see the world around him crumble to a ball around his feet. But he's always ready, he's always set, he's always well prepared. He's the most peculiar man you can meet. You know he's not the king of Bedside Manor. He's not the Tom Jones who lives next door. He's not the king of Bedside Manor.
Nope, not anymore.
And joining us this week, we don't have Aaron, we don't have Jeff, but we do have Steffan, as you know, and thankfully we have Erik joining us again, last minute even. Thank you so much for doing that for us.
Hello, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So what that means, listeners, is tonight's going to be a great show. It really is. I mean,
it really is.
There's at least one guy who has no idea what he's talking about.
Exactly. We're not talking about the notes or what's in G minor or G string minor or whatever. Doesn't matter. We're going to talk about the nitty gritty of the song.
I do have Aaron's notes. So
Tracy, are you making a liar out of Steffan here?
Oh my gosh.
I'll just cut that out. Now I can't. Now that I've referenced the fact that I was going to cut it out. But
you can cut the reference to the cutting out.
I suppose I could do that, but then it wouldn't be as much fun.
All right, fine. If Aaron has to stick his big nose into this thing, I suppose we can bring him in.
Okay. No, I'm the one with the big nose on the podcast. I mean,
yes, please don't show us your profile.
Almost knocked the camera over on that one.
I know, you give Steve Martin a run.
I do. So this song was written by Robertson and Page, early on stuff. Matter of fact, goes all the way back to their very first demo cassette. And so one of the versions was actually on Buck Naked, their very first cassette that they put out. It's a very, very slow version of this song and feels like it goes on forever because of it.
And what year was that?
That was 1988. Now, I wish there was one component of that song that I wish they had kept in there. I'm going to paste it in right here.
Excuse me, haven't we met somewhere before?
Not the kind of man who likes to see the world around him.
We have Ed in a very slowed down voice going, "Excuse me, have I seen you somewhere before?" And then the song kicks in. I wish they had kept that in there. It really is that, once again, that it's that philandering line that they use later in the song, but just him doing it in that deep voice was hilarious.
Oh, I was just going to say the way that your voice was doing that line, it reminded me a lot of, I think it's the intro to Mr. Blue Sky, Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah. Yep.
Yellow.
Very reminiscent of that sound. I will be honest, I did not listen to the Buck Naked version today, so I don't have it fresh in my memory.
No, I listened to all the different versions this week, and man, there are a lot of them. It was also on the Live from Toronto album. It was on the Gordon album, of course. Then there's, of course, the Bathroom Sessions version with both Steven and Ed just doing it together, which was wonderful. And I think one of the great things that they do in the song is when they're doing it live, which they also did on the Chips and Dips tour, and also several times. Like, this is one of their popular ones they like to do live. They would stop halfway through and play Moon Dance by Cat Stevens, and then continue on with the song.
Or is it Van Morrison?
Sorry, Van Morrison. Yes.
Now, just in case it was not already a busy enough song.
Yeah, right. I'd imagine this is a song that they have played a lot live.
They did. And it's interesting hearing them play it for the Live for Toronto one, because that's in 1991. And I would have assumed that the energy of this song came from how they recorded it. But you can hear them playing it fast, upbeat, with all the whoops and everything in their 91 performance that they did live in Toronto.
Was that before or after Gordon was recorded?
That's an excellent question.
I feel like that would have been after, because Gordon came out 91, did it not?
Came out in 92.
Oh, it came out in 92.
But you're right. They maybe could have just recorded it and liked the new way that it felt and done that, because it was late 91 that they recorded the live album. So, yeah, maybe. But yeah, so we should mention how this song was recorded.
Yes, probably on recording equipment.
So this
we don't have to do it.
Just a guess, guys.
This song is the original Naked song. This was the first song that they decided that they couldn't get the feel of this song correct. And no matter what they were doing, it wasn't coming together the way they wanted it to. And it was either Tyler, Jim, or the mixer, Michael Philip Voyevoda, depending on which story you hear, that said, you know what we have to do is we have to go get naked. That's going to fix this song. And for every step along the way, the person behind the recording console, even when they were doing their dubs and their extra add-ins for the song with the extra instruments, every step along the way, everyone was naked.
Like literally naked in the recording studio.
Yep.
Yes.
100% straight up, entirely. Everybody involved.
That could bring some life to things, I guess.
Matter of fact, the original recording of this, they edited out Tyler's screams at the end of it of "I'm naked," which honestly I wish they had kept in. That would have so worked with this song.
Man, that must have been kind of hard to play the drums butt naked.
Hopefully, he wasn't on a leather seat.
That's true.
Hopefully, he's got good aim.
Absolutely.
Ow,
Oh man, I just thought of something nasty with hitting the bass drum to make those noises. Yep, I went there.
Well, there's that hilarious line from Ringo at the end of Helter Skelter. I got blisters on my fingers. I can only imagine what Tyler would have been saying if they caught him recording after this one.
That is true. That's
Well, apparently I'm naked.
Yeah. I am naked. I really like the drums in this song. I thought Tyler did a great job. He is the drummer, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I thought he did a great job. I like listening to how he does it, for lack of better communicating words there. Oh boy.
I don't know how any of them have any breath left at the end of this song between how quick they're playing their instruments and how quick they're singing. Where do they take their breaths in the middle of this song? I can't keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's yeah, we knew you wouldn't be able to, but but yeah, I mean, they're professionals. They're recording their first album. They're going to get paid for this, so they're going to have to learn how to breathe correctly when singing a song.
Well, there's a couple things that we could talk about with this song when it comes to the music before we even get to the lyrics, because there's a lot of interesting pieces to this song.
I would be interested to hear what Aaron said about it.
Should I give Aaron's breakdown?
Break it down.
It's normally where we start.
I can't do an impression of him, but I'll do my best.
Thank goodness.
The first thing that I noticed was the pun in the title. Points for that one. Tempo is right around 303 to 304 BPM, which is a breakneck pace, he says. I would have to agree. He was just mentioning last week or a couple weeks ago with Keeping It Real, how slow that song was. And he mentioned, I think they have even gotten up to 200 BPM on some of their songs. We have a new record with this one.
It kind of reminds me of the movie Whiplash, when he's like really beating the life out of those drums. Have you guys seen that? It's good.
Nope.
Yes.
So Whiplash, I guess, is a very fast song, and it's challenging for a drummer. And it's about a drummer just being the ever-living hell out of a drum on beat. Go ahead, Tracy.
Well, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to get back on to Aaron's notes.
Absolutely. Go for it.
So noticeably, the song does rush and drag, meaning that they did not use a metronome or click track. This, along with the instrumentation, playfulness of the tune, and recording quality, leads me to believe that the King of Bedside Manor is from Gordon. Nice call, sir. King of Bedside Manor is written in the key of E minor. The intro bounces along in E minor, the tonic, with the occasional short stops in B7, the fifth, to turn it back around into the E minor. And when I came to analyze the song, I realized that is actually almost all of the song right there. Almost E minor and B minor or B7 with an occasional trip to an A minor. So the verses go E minor, B7, E minor, B7, etc. until the break to the chorus, where we get A minor, E minor, A minor, E minor, etc. until we come to the end where we have B7. So the chords are playing with who is leading, in a sense, with E minor being the perspective of the narrator, who is, it is safe to say, an unreliable narrator, which is either describing his actions or describing how he thinks of himself, whereas the chorus with the A minor leading is more of an omniscient narrator, which describes him more as others see him, and the discrepancy between those two opposing views is where we get the comedy in the song, as well as that feeling of alternating between the verse and chorus, even though they are very close to each other musically. The form of the song is intro A, verse 1A, chorus B, verse 2A, chorus B, verse 3A, chorus B, outro A. Then we go into Domo Arigato from Mr. Roboto. And so we have a structure of A, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, or A, blah, blah, blah. The bathroom session version really accentuates.
I'm waking up here. I fell asleep. That's so boring.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best.
This.
The bathroom sessions version really accentuates the great vocal harmonies and interaction between Steve and Ed. At one point, Steve completely loses his composure and starts laughing uncontrollably. You can see how much they're really having fun. It really made me sad to know that this kind of thing doesn't happen anymore. It also has a lengthy launch into a cover of Moon Dance by Van Morrison, which is probably a song that the narrator of King of Bedside Manor either sings, tries to sing, or plays on the jukebox prior to trying to pick up a lady. I love that idea.
It's an interesting take.
He goes into the lyrics next, and so I'm gonna take a break from reading from Aaron, which is so interesting to hear someone else read someone else's words.
As interesting as sawdust.
Thank you.
You can let Aaron know that too.
I was very interested in this one. It's actually surprisingly less chaotic than I expected.
I know, it feels so chaotic. I was like, oh, this is gonna be all over the place.
Yeah,
no, very, very simple, he said.
I think it's the beat from the drums that really kind of give a kind of a quick kind of weird changing aspect to it.
So what you're saying is you get Tyler naked, and what you end up is with 303 beats per minute.
Yeah, it seems like he's trying to rush through the song so he can put some clothes on.
There actually was something that I had just read.
Tyler, were you trying to hide something behind those drums?
Where's his words here?
Of course he was.
Find his words.
He was trying to hide his stick. His drumstick.
Tyler said, I don't think we could ever play that fast. It was like we were running away from each other's nudity.
Love it.
That was great.
So that could give the breakneck speed there.
I have to say, I love the manicness that's in this song. Listening to the original version on Buck Naked, it's without that drive that Tyler is bringing, it totally doesn't sound right. And
I still like it, but it does not hold a candle to the Gordon sped up craziness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I never heard the Buck Naked one. No, Gordon's my favorite album, so that's where I know it from.
Interestingly enough, it was the Gordon one that was recorded Buck Naked.
Oh really? What? Really? Oh yeah. Oh yes, I get you. Oh, see.
I love that. See? That was a professional level pun right there. That was top notch.
I get one once in a while.
I declare you king of the puns.
I don't know if I want to be this king.
So as you guys can tell, I'm a little bit slow on this. And I'm slow on uptake of like movies and other songs and stuff like that. Is there a king of Bedside Manor? And who is this song about?
Well, this guy is not the king of Bedside Manor.
Right. Well, I wasn't able to find anyone. I dug for this because I was like, oh, there's got to be someone they're referencing. And I couldn't find anywhere if they specifically are referencing someone. Next time we interview Steve or Ed, I'm going to have to specifically ask them, like, okay, were you in fact referencing someone specific when you sang this song? I don't know if they'd ever admit to it. So I figured they had to be. I mean, there's some really really good specifics in this song.
Well, and they never have throwaway lines or anything in any of their songs, really. But I was listening to this on my way home with my wife in the car, and she was saying, are you ready for the podcast? What's the song about? And I said, I have no idea. You have to look it up and tell me. And so she read the lyrics, and then she started reading up on Tom Jones, wondering if it was somehow referencing Tom specifically, because she's like, I don't really know anything about him. And I don't know, he was going through various things around 1989, which would be right after this was apparently originally recorded, but
same area.
It could somehow be in relation to him loosely. I don't know.
Well,
I didn't do my own
like
research.
I don't know, because Tom Jones is positive. They're like mentioning him as a positive in that sentence.
Whoa. Anyways, it's like he's not the Tom Jones. I'm a horrible singer, ladies and gentlemen. But he's not the Tom Jones that lives next door. So
not anymore.
I'd imagine whoever they're singing about is like Tom Jones, you know?
So the one that I came up with, the one that I thought of the most, and I went through, because he talks about a movie, an actor, a pseudo movie star, a singer, and someone that did late night TV.
Yeah.
Pretty specific. Could not find anyone that matched that in Canada. I was like, okay, how many Canadian people can I, because maybe it's just a Canadian we don't know. Nope. That ruled that out. I went through that list pretty quick. But the one that pops into my mind, and it could have been who they were referencing, is Dean Martin. He always played this like drunk philandering, a little bit different, philanderer. And, you know, he was always known as the womanizer that would say things that would get any other normal people slapped. He was a TV actor and a movie actor, but not like a real movie actor. He was part of a duo, and after the duo broke up, he didn't do much movies after that. He did some, but not more cameos. And then he also had his own TV show at night.
Huh.
Well, there's
what about Johnny Carson? Did Johnny Carson sing or anything?
No, he wasn't really a singer, and he wasn't an actor.
Oh.
I thought of that. And he really wasn't known for philandering either.
Although Tom Jones was. Amongst the reading that my wife was doing to me, she said that Tom Jones had once boasted about sleeping with 200 women in a year or something like that.
Wow.
Impressive.
So, possible philanderer, and has one son who I think is illegitimate. Who actually, this was I think this was what she was saying in 89. The mother was trying to say that Tom Jones was the father, and DNA testing said that he was.
Interesting.
And he refused to accept it and refused to acknowledge it until apparently 2008, I think she said, when he finally acknowledged that the son is his, but still had no interest in meeting or knowing it.
Wow.
And that song was Billie Jean. That was the song that was written about that whole situation.
Yeah.
Now, this was Wikipedia, so the most reliable of sources, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, think about the odds. If he's sleeping with 200 women a year and he produces one illegitimate, let me say that again, one illegitimate son out of how many years?
Which
That's
could potentially
impressive.
be achieved via bareback riding.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is why we were wondering if maybe it is just somehow about Tom Jones.
Yeah, it's very specific, but not enough that we know who it is. But that could. But if it is Tom Jones, like, he's a very forgiving guy, because he had to have known about this song. And the thing is, like, they as we'll discuss later on this year, he recorded a song with Barenaked Ladies later on in the career.
Oh, did he now?
He recorded his duos album that he did. He recorded a version of Little Green Bag with them. Which I'm excited to talk about that one down the road.
Huh.
They're not listed in the cultural influence section of his Wikipedia, so I don't know.
Now, question for you guys. I've heard either way, but I want to know from you guys, what do you think about the whoops and ooh, like all the little throwaway, quick little statements that they make in the background with this song?
Steffan?
Want me to go first, Eric?
Yeah.
Well, I think it sets them up for a hell of a live show, because it allows them to be able to really improvise and have fun and be boisterous and create quite an event. For me, from my autistic point of view, whoops and hollers kind of makes me look outside to see if somebody's killing a cat or something. I don't know exactly what's going on. Then there's like whistles and things, and I'm like, why is that even necessary? So for me, it's quite a chaotic song. I like it. But out of all the songs on Gordon, I think it's one of my least favorites. Because of the whistles and very, I don't know, it's not childish, but kind of immature, circus-like, carnival-like kind of environment.
Manicness.
Yeah.
Which I guess, if you're saying immature, and I mean, if they first recorded this when they were approximately 18, is that right?
Yes.
They
weren't exactly full-fledged adults well into their distinguished career writing serious songs.
That's true. So, I mean, those are the thoughts that I had. However, I love the drums on it. The bass is kicking, and then they harmonize in the middle of the song. It's like, oh, that's dope right there. And then they
is that the part where they're all just saying he's not the king of, and they're all overlapping each other?
Yeah.
Layering.
Yeah. It's great. So there's a lot of great aspects within the song. And then they throw in Mr. Roboto. I mean, who doesn't like that song? Idiots, that's who. So it's just like that's just awesome.
So
but,
that
what
actually
was the question?
that actually brings to mind, because the two songs that are referenced in this, well, not referenced, Moon Dance is not referenced, but is one they go into every single time they do it live. Did not do it for the album for whatever reason. But I was like, okay, well, maybe they're referencing Cat Stevens. I'm like, or Van Morrison. And I'm like, nope. I looked them up. I looked at it. There's no like major things about them and their personal lives online. But the one that I didn't look up, and as I'm talking about now, I'm like, actually, that would make a lot of sense, would be Styx. Like any of the Styx band members, I'm wondering if any of them, because why would you just randomly throw that into the middle of this song? And they were doing it prior to well, maybe not prior to recording Gordon, because we don't know when that live performance was done, but we know early on that they were doing that, and they always keep it in.
We need Allie. the pop culture anthropologist on.
Allie, you need to send us your information about Styx, and could this be about any of the members of Styx? I highly doubt Dennis DeYoung, but any of the other ones, I could see it. I will
give a hint and say that today I learned Tom Jones is not part of Styx. I double checked that. He's not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form that I could tell.
It wouldn't be unusual for that to happen, though.
I'm just reading over the lyrics, and it's got my curiosity piqued. Who is this King of Bedside Manor?
I want to know this person, not because I want to hang out with him, but I just want to know who this person is.
Interesting.
The first thing that comes to mind is like a doctor or something, but doctors are supposed to have a bedside manner.
Yes,
but not like.
And that's that pun that Aaron liked.
Exactly, not which is a behavior, not a home. So they're referring to an MANOR rather than MANNER. So,
which my wife was saying that today she learned that it's not spelled MANNER for this song.
Yeah. So I even tried looking up whether or not there really is a bedside manor, and no results.
It just sounds like a brothel.
It does.
It does.
Sounds like a brothel.
Wait, all right. Someone look up and see if there's a brothel named King of Bedside.
I don't want that on my search history.
All right, Steffan, your job.
Oh, I've got plenty of searches like that.
See, that's why I knew you could do it. No problem. We'll just
I've
blend
got the
in.
chicken ranch. I've got the goat ranch. I have the ostrich ranch. I've got every ranch you can imagine out there.
Buttermilk?
Whatever your potion is, I got it on here.
So yeah, that would be interesting. The other thing that I kept trying to dive into, but I couldn't find out is like the pun King of Bedside Manor. I'm like, well, they're making the doctor joke here. Are they referring to an actor that played a doctor somewhere along the way? And I mean, it's possible. Also, Dean Martin did play a doctor in some of his roles when he was doing some of his skits with Jerry Lewis. So could also play in there, and he also did it on his TV show that he did. So maybe.
Huh.
It was really easy to discuss music on this one. It's frantic.
Yeah.
It's busy, frantic, and fun.
It's just.
I think you said a really important word there, Eric. Though, fun. Like I have always thought of this song as a really, really fun song when I'm listening to it.
Yeah, you can tell that they're having a blast doing it too.
Yeah,
it comes through.
And any of their live versions of this that have been captured, they are all smiling and laughing and just enjoying each other's company on stage while they're doing this song.
As mentioned before, I was approximately 10 or 11 when I first really started listening to them when Stunt came out. And I quickly got Gordon shortly thereafter. And this song has just always been one of my favorite, just fun songs. As a kid that age, I always gathered there's something not quite kosher about this song, but didn't have the knowledge to point out what was weird about it.
I was going to say, was it the riding crop that gave it away? Or?
No, that understanding came later.
Like, this is, I think, one of their more risque songs. Like, they really go out there and talk about the riding crop and then bareback, and they're riding bareback. And
I think I might have picked up something on that, because I always thought that, like, riding crop sticking out of a haversack, that sounds dirty. And for I was a fairly well-read kid, but for some reason I had no idea what a haversack was, and so I always thought it was trousers. I was like, I don't understand what this is.
I just had to Google it. And I didn't even know what a riding crop is. I'm like, it must be that thing that fits in a horse's mouth.
Oh, you know what a riding crop is, Steffan.
Then I saw the picture. I'm like, oh, I know what that is. Okay.
Tiny little paddle.
This changes the song a little bit there, Bucky. And why would it be coming out of his backpack?
Well, it's not his backpack, but
yeah,
I think it's pretty impressive that, one, this man notices that, and two, has the gall to actually walk up to her and mention it, and then go with line number 3. Is that really a come on? Like, that is the worst pickup line I think ever.
I mean, if you're at a brothel, it might not be.
Well,
hey,
yes.
Something just occurred to me. What if the song is about a gigolo, a male a male prostitute, because it's a riding crop coming out of his backpack, and he's talking about the Tom Jones, and he was quite a singer, quite an actor, quite some time ago. He's washed up. What else is there for him to do? So, except for be a gentleman caller, for pay.
Star.
Well, more of a gigolo.
He was a pseudo movie actor. Yeah, that was their way of saying a porno. We didn't look that up. Maybe this is a Ron Jeremy.
Oh my. Oh my.
Okay, wait. No, he was not a singer. No, never mind.
So you're saying you wouldn't mind riding him bareback?
He tried to sing on one of those celebrity TV shows. He's not a singer.
Wow.
What did you say, Steffan? I missed what you said.
Nope, it's not worth it. Not worth repeating.
I'll catch it on the record when I'm editing.
Nope, that's fine. All I was about to say is you got plenty of hair to hold on to while riding bareback. That's all I got. But that kind of popped in my head. This dude goes to people's places, and this is what he does for a job.
Maybe. I will say, this guy is odd. He's watching people walk up and down the avenue. He's making really bad pickup lines in the middle of stores.
Are we fully on to the lyrics now, or are we still dancing around?
Yeah.
So that one from the house next door to his house on the lane, are they coming from that place to his? Or are they going past? Because that could indicate someone who's, I think what Aaron was saying, unreliable narrator. He thinks he's all this, but the other chorus part is saying, he's not all that he thinks he is. So if he's watching all the lovely ladies going from the house next door, who have come and gone from the house next door to his house, maybe they're just passing him by, and he's maybe living vicariously through this other person that's got everything that he wants.
It was Tom Jones's neighbor.
Yeah.
Wait, look it up. Who is Tom Jones's neighbor? I mean, I'm sure he lives in Beverly Hills. You can figure it out.
Tom Jones is English, so maybe he doesn't.
Maybe.
I learned today he's a Sir Tom Jones.
Oh, he's a sir.
He's a sir.
They'll knight anybody nowadays.
For riding bareback or not.
Oy. If you present a riding crop to the queen, I guess anything can happen. And that's when we lose the rest of our followers. Okay. So,
are you kidding me? We just got a few new ones. Our podcast just took a total turn. We got some interesting people listening now.
Oh, good. Really? Who have queen fetishes, I guess. Which I don't blame them. She's kind of hot.
Queen fetish.
It's interesting. Yeah, you brought up an interesting point there, Eric. While he opens up the curtains at the crack of dawn, just see the lovely ladies who have come and gone. Yeah, maybe
it makes it sound like he's no part of this.
No, he's just watching them go by, which is really creepy.
Except it does say from the house next door to his house, not past his house. So I've never quite been sure of that. I don't know a lot about this song.
The song is too detailed to not be about somebody. It has too many intricacies and descriptions about the behavior of a person for it not to be a real person.
I just want to know how these 18-year-old boys got this much information about this celebrity that they decided to write about.
Yeah, the internet wasn't even around.
Correct.
There was no Wikipedia for them to get all this from. They just had to know it. But we do know from their other works that like these guys are big pop culture guys.
Oh yeah,
like that's kind of one of their things. They're huge into pop culture, so they know all these crazy trivia facts about all sorts of people, I'm sure.
Huh. Interesting. I'm curious.
Well, I should probably put on and say what Aaron's thoughts were on the lyrics.
Yeah.
So Aaron says, now when I hear the words Bedside Manor, I of course think of doctors. Wow, we were ahead of him on that one. And I'm a Star Trek nerd, so I usually think specifically of the emergency medical hologram from Voyager, as played by Roberto Picardo.
Best doctor out of the Star Trek.
Oh, I definitely would agree with you. Although I have to give the original doctor a
Bones.
Good, yeah, Bones is going to get a good nod on that one. Still, one of my performances in, I think that he missed a word. I think he meant to say one of the best performances in all of Star Trek. And an analogy could be made here between the holographic doctor who thinks has good bedside manner. He was programmed to have great bedside manner, but clearly doesn't. And the narrator of the song, who thinks he is the king of bedside manner, in other words, he fancies himself a Don Juan, but is not, and perhaps never was. My favorite lyric is probably the transition from "I wouldn't mind riding you bareback" to "settle on the dance floor" as a pickup line and as subtle as a slap in the face with a nuclear warhead. Not sure what the significance of Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto is, other than perhaps that this is a song about a washed up or wannabe ladies man who is, amongst other things, past his prime. So maybe he is summoning up the vision of this busy guy busting a move on the dance floor, subtly doing the robot, not knowing that this is now very much considered out of style. Although, if you just wait long enough, everything comes back around again. Sadly, I am not feeling well, and I don't want this to color my thoughts on rating this song. So if I am just very out of step with you guys, I may take another listen to it come New Year's, but I like it. It's probably just good enough to make it on my best of playlist. I'm going to give the King of Bedside Manor a very solid 4 out of 5.
That sounds very much like not a fevered rating. That sounds like a fairly solid rating, whether he's not feeling well or not.
I agree.
That is definitely a solid rating.
So speaking of ratings, okay, what should we don't have Jeff, so I got to figure out I'm not used to coming up with a rating scale.
How about
I think we have
crops?
to go with the riding.
Haversacks or riding crops.
I think we have to go with the riding crops. Although I give Steven like points, or Ed, whichever one, that put haversack in a song. Like major points.
Yeah.
But
well, they had to run bareback somehow.
It's almost as though they have like a betting going on. They're like, okay, we're going to have to open up a dictionary, bring out a word, and you have to use it in a song.
Well, it's their tour bus game. Do you like black or I don't even remember how it goes anymore. The relating two bands by a similar word but not using the same word. Like, these guys do mental gymnastics for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so that brings me, this is one of their earliest songs. It's one of their first 6 that they ever recorded. I am not thinking that this is one of the songs that they sang on that bus ride during back and forth from camp, though.
You don't think so? They didn't sing this for the kids?
I don't think they sang this for the kids.
You never know.
Yeah, the kids got quite an education that summer.
That's what camp's for.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they found out all the information on this guy that they were singing about.
It could be.
Maybe
it was
kids?
a camp counselor.
Yeah, the kids. They know so much.
That's funny.
Oh, yes. How many riding props do we give this song? I'm going to hand it over to you, Steffan, first.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be good. That way Eric can follow up on a good note. I like the song. It's a mixed bag for me. I like the song, but it's fast and chaotic, and I don't do well with chaotic. But however, the regular beats on this, I don't have a problem with. I mean, does this rattle my brain? Yeah, most definitely. But it's when they start putting in the bells and the whistles and the whoops-ay, it reminds me of like an Irish jig, but poorly done in a way. It's just like, what is going on? It's like a whole bunch of kids are just recording and they're like screaming out things just to be on the album. But so for me, I like it, but I don't like it. So for all the songs on Gordon, which Gordon is my favorite album, and it's the only album I have actually. It's my favorite album. It's the least favorite song for me on the album. Even though I do like the drums, I like the bass, the lyrics are great, and makes me think about who is this king of Bedside Manor. I think the lyrics are fantastic on it because it's consistent all the way through, and it's a great chorus, and it really works. The harmonizing is awesome. Then they throw in weird songs like Moon Dance and Domo When It Got Out, Mr. Roboto. And it's like, hey, I like those songs. Those are pretty cool. So, so for me, I'm going to rank this a 3.5 riding crops.
Also solid.
All right, Eric, how about you? How many riding crops do you give this song?
As mentioned, I've been listening to this song for 2/3 of my life. And it's always been a fun song. I love it. I play it when it's on. I don't tend to seek it out, but if it's on, I don't skip it ever because it's absolutely fantastic. It's in every playthrough. It's definitely on playlists. I had to say that also the sticks part. I love how it always just sounded to me almost like I know better now than to think that it's a throwaway because they don't really do that. But when I was younger, I always just thought it was an entertaining thing that one time recording it, they just someone shouted out sticks and started playing another song and they decided to roll with it and enter it into the recording. I love that idea. I don't think that's actually what happened because they don't really do that. They tend to do everything with a purpose. But I've always loved that they're playing this crazy frenetic song and then they just announce a bunch of them all in their top voices, sticks. And then they go play sticks. I love it. As for a rating, I think I'm right there with Aaron. I'll give it a 4. Solid song, right. But I just don't seek it out enough to push it higher than a 4.
And I'm sitting here balancing it out, and I'm thinking too, like you made a really good point. I don't seek this song out as much as I love it. It's on my playlist. I will listen to it immediately if it comes up, and I'll listen to it all the way through. I'll never skip it. Automatically puts it in the high 3s automatically. I do like it a little bit more than that. I will say the whoops, like the first couple times through, it was great. And then it got old again. And it just, depending on which week you catch me on, I either like them being there or I don't like them being there. And it just varies depending on the week. But I love the manicness of this song. I love the fun they're having. And to me, it always makes me want to have fun. I love the fact that my kids have no idea what the words are to this song, but they're having fun when they're listening to it.
Can I add on to that, actually?
Yeah.
When you were saying, sometimes those noises just don't do it for you sometimes. I think with me, I always enjoy those because much like you say, your kids, they don't understand the song, but they have fun with it. It awakens that childhood nostalgia for me because I was a child listening to it. And as a kid, that sounds like a fun kid's song, just shouting random noises in the middle. That's one of the draws to me. I've never not liked those.
Yeah. Well, and it really speaks that they're having fun and they're just randomly, like, they are just in the moment on that song, you would think. And they do vary that up depending on when they're playing this, which is great too. I think I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to give it a 4 for this week. I may come back to it at the end of the year and change it slightly, but I think it's definitely right there at that 4 level.
Mm-mm. Which is still pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the appearances for this week, because there are already so many of them, I'm just going to put the appearances in for the different versions of this. That's enough to listen for the week because there's already 6 of them that I'm going to be placing in there. But I'm also going to put in there something really cool that I found this week that I want people to go out and listen to. And I don't want them waiting a year to hear this. A really amazing guy actually put out there a recording that he did himself of what it would sound like if Blink 182 wrote 1 Week. And I laughed through that whole thing. And he does an amazing job. 2, he understands Blink 182 perfectly because, yes, that is a perfect sound of what Blink 182 would do with this song.
It. If you didn't have the video of him doing it, you would think it was Blink 182 playing it.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. So I encourage everyone to go out and listen to it because it's a different version of 1 Week, which we've heard a million times. There are some ways that I really actually like that version.
And who's the artist that duplicates Blink?
Is he an actual known guy, or is he just some random YouTuber?
Yeah.
I'm sure he has his own following because I think, like Tracy says, he's an actual YouTuber. I think he does his own thing, so he's got a following, I'm sure.
And he's very talented.
Oh, cool. Tracy, where can followers email you? Where can our listeners find us?
So people can find us on any of the podcasting platforms, and they can reach us by reaching out to us on Facebook at Barenaked ABCs, or they can try to reach us on Twitter at Barenaked ABCs. I don't keep up with that one quite as much as others. Yeah, I'm not as good with that one. Jeff is more the Twitter person than I am on this one. So, and you can also email us at barenakedabcs@gmail.com. And I do read those every day. So feel free to reach out to me on that. I will definitely get back to you pretty quickly.
Is it safer for Twitter users to @Whitmire? I don't know his actual handle.
His handle is @Jeff Whitmire 4747, I believe.
Good luck spelling that.
Yeah.
But if you go on @Barenaked ABCs, he's one of the people that we follow, so you can just go from there.
Oh, there you go.
Cool.
Also, I do want to put out there, I am proud to announce we do have a Patreon page. I do encourage people to go out, sign up for only $5 a month. And that's it. $5 a month. You can actually listen to 2 extra episodes every month where Steffan and Jeff are reviewing songs that they have not yet reviewed. They're going back from the very beginning and capturing all their thoughts on those. And we know how entertaining Jeff and Steffan are. On this show, imagine when there's no filler of Tracy or Aaron. They are just let loose to go.
Oh, yeah, it's bad. It's
so
like
yes,
year
please,
1.
Please join us over at Barenaked ABC's After Dark. And it is
dark.
And it is definitely an adult podcast. I will warn you ahead of time.
Well, even though we're not adults really when we're saying stuff. The content is, I guess.
All right, guys. And just like that, we're done with the K's.
Really?
Just like that.
Yeah, that 2 songs done. K's, that's it.
I felt like I heard them all.
You did. I think you were on both K episodes.
I was, in fact. I didn't know there was the only 2.
Tell you what, do you want to come back and start us off with the L's?
Is that an invitation?
Yeah, you want to come back next week and do L's?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, well, next week we're going to discuss La 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 Lemon.
Come on, buddy. Come on, you can do it.
I'm in.
You can pull through.
I like lemons.
You know what they say? When the world gives you lemonade,
give the world the lemons back.
I usually mix it with vodka.
That works too.
Good old limoncello. Well, thank you guys, and we'll come back next week.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen out there.
Thanks. Good night.
Thanks, that was fun. Don't forget, no regrets, except maybe one.
To celebrate joining Pantheon Podcasts, Rock Camp, the podcast, the official podcast of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, is giving away a guitar signed by Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, Marty Friedman, formerly of Megadeth, and legendary shredder Zakk Wylde, plus our rockstar counselors like Vinny Appice, Monty Pittman, and more. To enter to win, simply follow, rate, and review our podcast on your preferred platform, and that's all you have to do. For more information, go to rockcamp.com/podcast.